Hi, welcome back. Now, today the video I'm going to go through was making meatballs, lamb meatballs. Now, I'd already done this before. You can see it looks like everything's already done. What happened, I did the video and it just went forever. So I went way over the time limit for YouTube. So I've already done it, so I'll try and recap as best I can and keep it under 10 minutes. Now, you remember a few months ago I had a lamb go to slaughter. It came back in that video back from the butcher's. I showed you the chops and the legs and all that kind of stuff, and the forequarters and the belly and the forequarters, like the legs, I had boned out and ground up on a coarse setting for mince. Now, the mince I was originally going to make into sausages, but because the my attachment for my blender, the sausage making attachment, hasn't rocked up yet, I've decided I'll wait until autumn when I get my other lamb sent to slaughter. I'll make sausages then. So I had the mince, so I thought I might as well make meatballs. You can make meatballs and rissoles and meatloaf, all that kind of stuff. I love all that kind of stuff, especially lamb rather than beef. Sometimes it gives a little bit of extra flavour. Now what I've done, now I know it's already been mixed up and this is a bit of a pain. Now I had my mince. Now I had about 2.5 kilos of mince. Now what I've added to that, I cooked off some onions. I cooked off one white onion with about 2 tablespoons of black pepper, about a tablespoon of minced garlic, and about 3 anchovy fillets. Now, I haven't added any salt because the anchovy fillets are quite salty, and when you cook them, don't worry if you don't like anchovies, when you cook them for things like this and pasta and stuff like that, they just dissolve into the oil, so you get the nice salty flavour through it, but you don't get that. I love anchovies, but you don't get that strong anchovy taste that some people don't like. So white onion, some minced garlic, and the anchovy fillets and black pepper, no salt. So I've put that in, and what I've also put in too was some spices. Now I put in my little mortar and pestle, just here, which is empty now because it's all in there. I just put in a teaspoon of coriander seeds, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and a teaspoon and a half of sweet paprika, dried paprika. Now give it a good grind because cumin and coriander, or cilantro, some people call it in other countries, they're quite little gritty bits. So you don't want people getting kind of like splinters when they're eating their food. So make sure you grind it up really fine, as fine as you can, into a nice fine powder. So I've put that in, the cumin, the coriander, and the paprika. Mix that in. Now I put in about a cup of breadcrumbs and 2 free-range eggs, and that's all I've done. So I had the mince, and I cooked some onion and garlic and anchovies, added that. Then I ground up some cumin, paprika and coriander seeds, and I put that in too. Now I'm just going through the process of making the little meatballs. Now the meatballs themselves, I pretty much categorise meatballs as such into 3 different groups. The little ones, about so big, that are nice as little hors d'oeuvres for a party or something like that. Slightly bigger ones, about golf ball size, which are good for pastas and stuff like that. And then the bigger ones, about so big, which are more like a rissole. And then if you've got a big heap of it, like I've got here, you could just make one big meatloaf. I'd probably add a few more things, different things to it. But anyway, now I'll go through the process. Now all I've done, I've mixed that all together. Main thing when you're mixing stuff like this, especially with meat, is you don't want to get like half of your meatballs just as meat and half your meatballs with what tastes like extra salt and spices. So make sure you give it a good mix through. Get your hands in there, mix it through, don't be afraid, get in there. Now what I'm going to do, mix that all up. Now I'm just going to make it. Now I've just got some plain flour here, but you could use breadcrumbs again if you wanted to, just to have like a breadcrumb kind of coating, or polenta or something like that. So just grab some of the meat. Everyone's probably made a meatball. It's good for kids to do it too, I think. They enjoy doing it. Now you'll soon realise when you're rolling the meatball up, if it still starts crumbling away, then it hasn't binded. So you might want to add another egg, maybe a little bit more breadcrumbs, just to keep it all together. The content of fat in this lamb as well, it was fairly, you can see, it was fairly heavily marbled. See those little white dots? That's all the fat. So if you're using really lean meat, you might want to add something like pork belly or some kind of fat, just to bring it together. Suet, some people use, things like that. Now, just roll it up in your hands. This is why it's a good job to give kids. They like doing that. Chuck some flour on your board, of course. Just give it a roll around, just to coat it. And there you go, meatball. Now, when I got the eggs, I got the free-range eggs from a friend. They gave me this container, so I'm just going to use it again. Now I've put a bit of flour in the bottom of it, rolled up my meatballs, put them in there. Now I'll have probably 2 of these containers worth, because there's a heap of mince there. I'll bang them in the fridge for probably a couple of hours just to chill them. An hour would do, but I'm early today, so I've got heaps of time. That'll set them so they won't crumble up. That'll get, like, they'll just almost shiver up a little bit with the cold. That'll just bind it together even more. Then when we cook them, there's less chance of them breaking up. Now I'll do another video later on tonight, and I'll go through cooking them, because there's a few different ways you can cook your meatballs just as they are and just eat them as they are, or you could have them in a sauce, or do this or do that. There's lots of different things. I'll go through it though. Now, I don't want to run over time again like I did last time, so I'll finish up because it'll take me a while to make all these. I'll put the ingredients in the corner of the description, just of everything I've used, just to recap. But that's it. Now, I didn't know what to call. I was just going to call the video meatballs, but they're kind of spicy meatballs, I guess. So I'll call it that. You could even add a splash of wine if you wanted to too. Red wine I'd use, not white. Alright, any questions, give me a yell. Sorry the video is so kind of short. The one before was a lot better, but I ran over time, so it was already done. I haven't got any more mince. So, cool. Any questions, give me a yell. I'll be back later on, and I'll go over to cooking, or what I'm going to do for the cooking process. Alright.